Do you have a favorite collectible that's just sitting on the shelf collecting dust? Now, I know this is a hot take and don't dislike this video just because of it, but I think there's a better way to display them. There's more dimension to your collectibles. In fact, there's a whole world. Today, I'm bringing two very different collectibles to life with miniature worlds. A Pokemon card from my early childhood and one of the most popular collectibles of 2025. I think I was supposed to do this. I missed that part, right? The Labubu. I'm going to show you how the same design mindset works across totally different styles. The best part is, as always, I'm giving away the S-Tels for free, so you can grab them in the description below. Let's get to it. Do you remember that feeling as a kid when you got your Happy Meal and you just couldn't wait to see what toy you got? Of course, after you finish your dinner, or maybe you were the kid who collected Pokemon cards and you just couldn't wait to see what was in that new pack. Could be the ultimate collectible, but more likely it's just your 40th Pidgey. Today, I'm going to be chasing that exact same thing with a Labubu blind box. Stick around, because whether you're an avid card collector or want to print something cool for the Funko Pop or Labubu lover you know, I've got some really great ideas. Let's start with our Pokemon card. This binder contains cards from when I was a kid, and you can tell from the sad looking vinyl that they have not seen the light of day in quite some time. Let's give a card in here some new life by finding a fun way to display it. Now, when I think of Pokemon, I think of playing Pokemon Yellow on my Game Boy Color and starting out in one of our favorite virtual towns. So today, I'm going to display this card in a world inspired by Pallet Town. Now, as you watch me build, don't think that I went crazy. It is intentionally pixelated just to pay a little homage to that time. So, let's get started. And there you have it, a sneak peek of the final reveal. I'm going to let the super glue finish drying a little bit longer before we put the card on and do a final reveal. But in the meantime, I did want to give you a couple of tips in case you decide to do something like this or even print this exact same thing. First thing is, for all of the small, tiny little pieces, I highly recommend printing extra of them. It is so easy to lose them or even break them, like the flowers. I didn't think that they could possibly break, but hey, they can. We're just going to say that a few of the Pokemon got a little bit hungry and ate some of the flowers. The other thing that I recommend is choose the orientation that you print this to give the texture and the depth that you want. So you would think normally printing something that is this short, you could just print it flat like it's currently depicted, but I printed all of these pieces vertically so that whenever I added fuzzy skin or even different textures for like the rock in the water, you could actually see those textures, because if you print it this way, you won't see that, or it'll actually end up looking pretty bad. So even though it might seem illogical to do so, turn the orientation on the side, print it vertically, and you'll be able to really get a lot more depth and a lot more texture to it. When you're doing that, the third tip would be make sure that you remove all of the support material. So you definitely need support material for like this yellow piece, for example, just to make sure that everything is truly squared up so that all of these little pieces can fit in it. You may have noticed that I actually ran into a little bit of trouble with the houses in the back because there was just this literally like one layer of support that was in there that I just couldn't get out and gave me trouble with getting the houses in. Alternatively, you could print this, 101%, and that would probably make it a lot easier too. Before we jump into the next build, quick pause. If you're into epic 3D prints, miniature worlds, that sort of thing, make sure that you're subscribed because I've got a lot more planned. Now, I'm going to be honest. If you asked me a year ago what a Labubu was, I would have been completely lost. Still am. Labubus aren't my collectible. Right now, I feel like Filament is, but it is one of the most popular collectibles out there right now. So it makes it a perfect test case for seeing how exactly you can scale something like the Pokemon one and do something different. Because if you strip away the hype, it's really just another character, one with a fiendish personality, who needs a world of its own. But before we build the space, we need to know who's going to be moving in. I really dread this part because I've got one shot at a blind box unboxing. Let's see who's inside. I think I was supposed to do this. I missed that part, right? All right, it doesn't look like I got the most popular one out there, but you know what? We can definitely still make do, and I think this will work perfectly. Here, you can watch. So if you thought the last one was a little bit painful to watch, this one's going to be so much easier, so much faster. I applied some of the same principles, but actually designed it pretty differently. So whenever I printed it, again, printing it vertically so that we can get that additional texture, which made a huge difference, especially on a piece like this. I printed it in different pieces so that I could easily slide things together using a dovetail. But this way I could get something bigger, something that's big enough to fit this guy because he's not exactly small. All right, so start off by adding our back, and it's just going to slide right in. And then we'll do our other back. And here we have it, a world for a Labubu. Rather than a boring pedestal or a stand, I designed a small living room with a couch, a chair, some cupcakes, and of course a couple of macaron. And the entire build works without AMS and shows just what you can accomplish as long as you're thoughtful about your design process. A few dovetail slides made it so much easier. And I'd probably add some super glue if my fingers weren't already completely covered with it. You know what I love about builds like this is that they change how you think about 3D printing. I could have easily just found a boring card holder to display my collectible, but instead I made something that brings back my childhood and reminds me of all the fun that I had. If miniature worlds and epic builds like this are your thing, make sure that you're subscribed because this is just the start of the Print Alchemist.